Hey guys, welcome to Thermomix Adventures. Lisa here. Hey look, I'm doing a really quick dinner to finish the month tonight. Now this is the very end of our habit building month of getting into really good habits for the year ahead. So remember to head over to thermomixingadventures.com.au over on that QR code to grab the downloadable of recipes for this month. Now tonight I'm doing this beautiful lemon rosemary chicken and rice recipe. It is a fantastic recipe if you've not made a layered dish in your Thermomix. So if you're not getting good use out of your steaming attachments, your Vorwerk, this is a great recipe to get started with. So let me get straight into it. I'm going to go start cooking. We're using cookie do recipes, which means it's all guided. It tells us what to do. Doesn't mean we're stuck to that though. So don't feel that that means you have to do exactly what it tells you to do. But it does mean that it is a tested recipe and it's pretty much foolproof. It means that, you know, my 6-year-old can make it. How cool is that? All right, I'm putting in, it says 30 grams of oil. I stopped at 20, that'll do. Close enough is definitely good enough, okay? Next up, we've got some flour. Now I'm using gluten-free. You can just use your normal flour and actually, dare I say, I reckon you could leave it out if you wanted to. It just won't thicken as much. It may or may not matter to you either way if it thickens or not, okay? So I'm going to, for today, follow the recipe, but I reckon if you didn't have the flour, oops, 45, oh well. As the saying goes, it's just how it's gonna go. So that's okay, doesn't matter. Might be a little thicker than I planned on being. All right, 3 garlic cloves, in they go, all right? There is a tip to removing the husks off the garlic, okay? Put them in the bottom of the bowl, reverse speed 4 for 4 to 6 seconds, and you'll have your garlic husks removed. Really simple. One day I'm gonna do a video on that for you guys. Some rosemary, it says 1 sprig of fresh rosemary, or you could just use dry. That would work perfectly fine as well. And then some salt. What is this? It says half or a quarter, half a teaspoon of salt. I'm not gonna put too much in because I am mindful we're using stock later as well. And then next, some pepper. In it goes. And add some turmeric, okay? If you didn't have turmeric, of course you can leave it out. There's quite a few good health benefits to turmeric. However, it is only a pinch. I'd probably just put in a bit of a generous pinch, okay? But if you don't have it, of course, just skip it out. It will be fine without it. On with the lid. And it tells us we're going to chop that for 3 seconds, and it says turn speed selected to speed 8. So round to speed 8 and off it goes. You can hear how quickly that was done. Like it demolished that super quick. Either that or my garlic cloves are stuck up the bowl. Let's have a quick look. Oh, look at that. Like it's done. What garlic cloves? What rosemary? It's all disintegrated in there. I love that. Okay, next up. Scrape down the sides. I will scrape that flour down the sides. Alright, so round the sides, push it down into the blades, and then yours may look a bit runnier because remember I was a little light on the oil and a little heavy on the flour. That's just how we're going to go tonight. That's okay. Without the measuring cup, now we're making a thick, saucy kind of thing. It says 5 minutes, 120 degrees, speed 1. Okay, so this is your cook-off to get started. While that's happening, I know some of you guys cook along to these videos, the things you can be preparing. You will need your aroma and you'll need it lined with some baking paper. It says to make a parcel with it, so quite a generous amount. I didn't actually tear off enough for that, so I'm just going to do it how I'm going to do it. Feel free to do it as per instructions or as per Lisa's way. You do need a lemon, okay? Now, if you don't have a lemon, I reckon you could use an orange. I reckon you could use lime, okay? If you don't have lemon juice, you certainly could use some apple cider vinegar or white vinegar in the next steps. You'll see in a moment it's going to call for chicken stock. We're going to use our classic Thermomix veggie stock, okay? So I'm going to teach you how to use that in a moment. If you haven't got some of this in your fridge, grab the recipe up, make it, okay? It just levels up the flavors on all your recipes. Veggies and salt, that's all it is. I've got some broccolini. It does have some honey. I'm using rice malt in a moment. And some water. Oh, and rice. Okay, we've got some rice coming as well. So that's the things you can be preparing in this recipe. And of course, you can use your 3 dots on the side to actually, this over here, 3 dots, and that will bring up the details so you can see that. But I thought I'd take this couple of minutes that are left to let you know about what's going on in Thermomix in Australia. Now, I know a lot of you guys are UK, US, I've even got some watchers from Israel. When you are watching along, let me know where you're watching from. I would love to know. But those of you in Australia, so starting tomorrow, we have a TM31 trade up. Now, I started my business nearly 10 years ago now with a TM31, okay? It is the classic Thermomix that we started with in Australia. Now, most of you who have a 31 and you're in Australia, you may already have an email from head office letting you know that that offer is beginning tomorrow. If I can help any of you guys get the TM6 on the bench, trading in your TM31, reach out. I would be absolutely honored to. If you're trading in a TM31, you're actually getting a cutter on top as part of your trading bundle. How cool is that? The cutter is amazing. Being able to make fresh salads and chopping it down, I've shown you what that's all about, okay? Just such a thing that makes it more like a food processor. So you can literally, if you still have a food processor, ditch your food processor, okay? No need for food processors, juicers, mix masters, blenders, all those things. And you've got a Thermomix on the bench, it does all of those things. Rice cookers, everything, right? Kettle, if you don't want to have a kettle on the bench. So TM31, those of you watching on, if that's of interest to you, please do reach out. I would love to send you a link tomorrow so that you can take up that offer if it's your time to get yourself a TM6 on the bench. I do understand a lot of you guys love your TM31, okay? But the reason they're actually offering it as well is next year is 10 years since the last manufactured 31. So it means the parts will no longer be produced. So eventually there'll be a part problem, okay? And eventually you might actually have to get a 6. So it's an opportunity to get one at a reduced price. So that's pretty cool by handing in the 31, okay? So if I can help you, please, those of you in Australia, that is okay. If you're overseas, I do apologize. I can't help you. So I'm sorry. But those of you in Australia with the TM31, I'd be honored to help you with that process. So reach out if that is you, and make sure your friends and family who have the TM31 are aware. And of course, if they don't have a consultant, I'd love them to send them my way to support them to get one on the bench. So yes. All right. This is up to temperature. You guys know me. You can see I'm squirming. I just want to get to the deal. So I'm going to push the button. I'm going to shortcut this step. All right. It's cooking it off. You can see it's making like a little, kind of like a pastry really, but in the bottom. It's going to thicken later. All right. So here we go. This is why it's going to thicken, because we're going to add to it. It says 680 grams of chicken stock. Now, we use veggie stock and we use water. Okay, this is an overseas recipe. I believe it's from the UK collections. So in a normal main meal, you put into a recipe a tablespoon of stock. Okay, so there's our stock, in it goes. There's my tablespoon of stock, and now I'm going to top it with water to bring it up to that weight. So in this goes 680. Oh, okay, 937. I'm really going overboard today. A little generous. That's okay. It doesn't really matter. Now, with your stock, okay, this stock is a concentrate. So you can put it into water to make liquid stock. You can dry it out, dehydrate it if you can be bothered, to make powdered stock. You can make a beef and a chicken version, but in my opinion and my experience, my family couldn't taste the difference. So veggie stock it is all the way. It'll also last in your fridge literally months. You'll know when it's off. You'll open it and it'll look like tomato paste when it's done. Okay, so you will know. Okay, some lemon juice into that water. I don't have enough lemon juice. I'm just going to use some apple cider vinegar. That's what I've got. As I said, there's lots. Anything acidy will do the job here. I can't wait for this. Lemon. It's got the little bit of sweetener coming. It's got turmeric. It's just amazing blend of food flavors in this food. Okay, honey, I'm using rice malt. You can use maple if you prefer maple. It's up to you what your preference is, but a liquid sweetener is going to... Actually, I reckon in this one, normally I'd say just stick with the kind of same thing, but I reckon you could actually use raw sugar if you preference that in this recipe. Okay, insert the simmering basket. Now the simmering basket, here it is. It's sitting over a bowl because I've rinsed it. Okay, rinse your rice beforehand. They are going to rinse it in this recipe, but I like to get the starchiness out beforehand. You'll also notice I'm doing brown rice, which does take a little longer to cook. No big deal though. Okay, now let's just have a look at the liquid in here. I just want to check I'm high enough. So it says, put your rice into the basket, insert the basket, And then it says to rinse it. I'm just trying to figure out where my water level is. Can you guys see? I want to give you some tips here. I want to give you some value. Can you guys see how the water is barely touching the bottom of that simmering basket? When I scratch that, actually I'm going the wrong way for you guys to see. The water is literally touching the bottom, okay? We do not want to steam our rice. Has anyone cooked rice and it's got a bit crunchy still? Okay, so what we're going to do, and I'm just checking they're not adding, no, so they're not adding more water to it. So we are going to add more water to it because you guys know my rule when it comes to rice. It must touch the bottom grain, the bottom of the top grain of rice. Did you catch that? So when it's flat, and obviously I've made a mess in there, but can you guys see how you can see the water through that top granule of rice? Okay, that means it's all going to cook. I don't know if you guys can get close enough to see. Do say hi if you're watching on today, by the way. Okay, they want us to rinse the rice. Because I rinsed it under the tap, it's not completely necessary, but 5 seconds, speed 5. And this is a little bit fancy tonight, you guys know that, because normally if I was doing a layered dish, it would be water, no flavorings in the water, rice, veggies, protein, right? So it is being a little bit more fancy, but I do like following a guided recipe, and I like the fact that this was in my planner. So I put it in my meal plan on Cookie Do, I sent it to the Vorwerk app, and then I was even able to do click and collect. So you can kind of do that step through if you like, okay? So here we go. Now they're explaining how to do the meat. Now I'm just going to summarize it for you. It says, put some parchment paper in your Vorwerk. Lay in your meat. Now you might notice mine is not thighs. Mine is a random, like we don't always have a great pick of options on what we have. So it is a selection of, I think, random cuts. Okay, I think they're called like whole cut chicken or something rather like that. So it's fine. That'll do. So it says, add lemon slices, some rosemary leaves, that's already put in, and 4 chicken thigh, boneless, skinless, approximately, seasoned with salt and pepper. Okay, so I need my pepper and my salt. Now it says to close this parcel up, as I made the paper too small, so I clearly won't be closing this up. You do need to make sure with however much chicken you put in there, just a little tip, that later on we're going to want to fit our tray on top. Our tray is going to hold any remaining veggies. So I've got broccolini, I'm going to slice up, well actually I've got some sliced carrot, and it's going to go on there. So however much chicken you put in the bottom, you need to make sure you've got the capacity for the lid for later. This is not going on now because we've got a good 20-minute cook first to get this started cooking. And if I cook that for 20 minutes, we're going to end up with very soggy veggies, okay? So let's go next. Tells you to close it up, make sure there's holes underneath, all that jazz. You can see how I've done it. Secure the Vorwerk lid and 22 minutes Vorwerk speed 3. And this is the time we get to put back the stuff in the kitchen, go do something more important. It's then going to call us back, and I'm going to step you through these last steps now so that you're confident to do this at home. But after 22 minutes, it's going to bring us back to add. It tells you to stir the rice with a spatula. Guys, I never do that. Leave it out. It's just another thing to fuddle around with, so don't do it, okay? Then it says to put the Vorwerk dish in position. So that's then asking for this, or the Vorwerk tray, sorry. And it's asking for that, okay? And then you're going to cook, there's your broccoli in there, and secure the Vorwerk lid, and then you can cook it for 13 minutes, okay? So that's then the end of the recipe. You're serving up your rice, you're serving up your chicken, you're serving up your broccoli, and drizzle over that remaining sauce that will be slightly thickened in the bottom. You can either put it aside in a container so people can serve it themselves, or you can trickle it over the top of the whole lot. But that's it. That is as easy as it is to make a layered dish in your Thermomix. Now, those of you who have a TM31 and you're watching along, give this a go in your Thermomix. I have stepped you through it step by step. Okay, I know that for a lot of you guys tell me with a TM31, the older model machines, you don't use this. Okay, this part, the Vorwerk. Challenge, okay? You need to use it, get it out, give it a go, all right? Because there's so much more your Thermomix can do when you layer it up. Like we will be done this step in 20 minutes. We do have, by the way, okay, a little variation before we finish up. If you don't have chicken thigh, you want to use chicken breast, okay? Just slice it into thirds because it will also be done in 20 minutes. We have a lot of meat in there, which means it's going to take the full half an hour and a little bit more. But if you've got sliced up chicken breast in there, or tenderloins, or salmon in there, or meatballs, it is not going to take this full length of time. So just be mindful of that as well. And obviously check your meat when you're done at the end and check it's cooked through. But otherwise, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. It's lovely to cook with you. I'll be back tomorrow. Have you seen what's coming next month? I put out a newsletter last night. It's about to get launched on the blog tomorrow on TMXing Adventures over there on the QR code. We are doing quick dinners. So March is all about quick dinners. You have a downloadable. Those of you on my subscribers list, you've already gone and got it. We are doing things in less than 30 minutes because I don't know about you, but time is of the essence these days. And the world is not slowing down. So it's either convenience or we use our Thermomix well. And I want to empower you and give you confidence to use it super well all the time. So keep an eye out. If you weren't on if you're a subscriber, go check your inbox. It's in your inbox. If you thought you're a subscriber and you can't find it, reach out. I'll help you find it. And if you didn't subscribe, it will be on the blog tomorrow. So you will see it on my website over there. Head to the blog heading and check that out. But otherwise, guys, take care. I can't wait to do quick dinners with you starting tomorrow for the month of March. But otherwise, guys, take care and I'll see you then. Bye for now.